having laid out the criteria, they found out there were two equally qualified people. One named Matthias and one named Justus. I want now to speak to you about humility. For every vacancy that exists, God has at least two equally qualified candidates. You are not that special. You do understand, I hope, that the only irreplaceable component in the work of the kingdom is God. Without God, we can do nothing. Without us, God still has a shot. I know you feel that with your CRCDS credentials, you can almost walk on water. Well, go ahead and walk on it. That's okay with me. But if, like Peter, you take one step and sink, you be in good company. We are not irreplaceable. I thought I was. I thought I was. I had this brand new Union Theological Seminary degree and all the arrogance that one body could contain. And I had started the first church that we served in Montclair, New Jersey, and I woke up one Sunday morning with a fever. Oh, I was 104, Bishop. Hot, you could feel it across the room. But I had this sense that my people needed me. Peggy said, I know you're not going to go to work today. I said, I've got to go. They need me. You're sick, she said, pleading as a loving wife would do. Stay home and take care of yourself. I cannot. What would they do without me? So she said, with a certain sort of, sense of what can you do about it? Go then, go ahead. I got to the church. I was too weak to stand up for the whole service, so I sat, conserving myself for the moment when the people needed me the most. I didn't sing any songs or read any responsive readings because I was saving me for the moment when they would need me. Finally, preaching time came, and I got me up, pushed off of a pew, leaned over onto a podium, got out two words, good morning, and collapsed. Just fell flat on the floor. 4 deacons came and got me. 2 got my armpits, 2 got my ankles, and they walked me out a side door like a coffin leading a sanctuary. Now, here was the problem. Me would be out for 2 weeks. Bed rest ordered by a doctor for 2 weeks. What would the church do without me for 2 weeks? At the end of the first week, some deacons came to the church to say they had found someone to preach in my place. I said, who? They said, well, we got Reverend so-and-so. I said, oh, no. Reverend so-and-so cannot preach in my pulpit to my people in my church. He does not have my credentials. I was in bad shape. They said, well, you're sick. You can't do it. We've invited him. He's coming. You rest. We'll handle it. Now, here's the shame of it. I was praying for bad news. I confess my sins. I hope that you are faithful and just and will. I wanted so much for them to come back after service and say, Reverend, you know what? We should have just canceled church. We should not have even tried to go on without you. So I could say, I told you so. I sat by the door waiting for them to come in humility. Instead, they came skipping up the driveway. Great big smiles on their faces, and they had the nerve to say to me, Reverend, you should have been there. That old Reverend so-and-so tore that church apart, and 13 people joined the church this morning in the name of Jesus. 13 folk had not joined over the entire time that I had been there. He brought in 13 in one day. And in doing so reminded me that God does not need me. May I extend that to you? God can use us, but God doesn't need us. There's always somebody else. There's a Matthias and a Justice. As Bill Jones, CRCDS D-Men alumnus of 1975 once said to me, God already has your replacement warming up in the bullpen.